Hi y'all, Tracey Trials of a Long-Haired Girl here, back for another Food for Thought Friday. This week I thought I would share a little story. When I was a little girl, I was very, very thin. I was so thin, in fact, that you could see my ribs, like you could count all of my ribs. So I was the little girl that other kids didn't really want to play with because I was so skinny they thought that I would break, or so I was told. Between the second and third grade, my school closed and I had to go to a new school. For anyone who knows me personally, you probably know already that I am not a big fan of change. I'm just not. It's part of me. It is who I am. I apologize. My light keeps flickering. But, one of the things, we always say that kids are cruel, kids are honest, because they say whatever it is. They don't have that life experience that filters, that they filter things that they say, which is sometimes a good and a bad thing. But what I will say is, even to this day, past relationships, things that were said, that they may have wanted to take back, but in the grand scheme of things, we all know that once something is said, you can't take it back. It's already out there. That's why we need to be careful about what we say. But we need to realize that even if you say it because you're angry or because you're frustrated or because of the situation that's happening, because of something specific, things that you say, whether it's to yourself or to someone else, it matters. I carried with me for a very long time the things that people said about me, the fact that I was so fat, the comments that were made to me, like, you'd be so pretty if you just lost 20 pounds. And I actually told my uncle at one time, we used to have some pretty in-depth conversations, which sounds weird, but we did. And I actually told him at one point that I felt like my weight to some extent was a mode of self-protection for me. But, kind of the biblical principles that I wanted to share with regard to this one. Hold on. I got to find my... I actually have two scriptures. One is Ecclesiastes 5 and 7. Kind of reminder for us, but talk is cheap. Like daydreams and other useless activities, fear God instead. So rather than focusing maybe on the negative voices that you hear in your head, or all the things that you hate about yourself or that you are less happy with about yourself, maybe focus on what God says you are. That you're chosen, that, but the one that really stuck out for me is Proverbs 18:21. The tongue can bring death or life. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. It does matter. It matters what we say to ourselves, and it also matters what we say to others. We're not always going to be perfect, and sometimes things happen. And those kids never thought in a million years that anything that they said to me, I would still have in the back of my head when I'm in my 50s. Like, some of those things still haunt me. But I'm learning to focus on the more positive aspects of my life rather than the negatives. So, hopefully, it gives you some food for thought, gives you pause about maybe things that you have said to others or things that you say to yourself. Because we always say that, the little eyes are watching and the little ears are listening, but our ears listen too. And we take in all that, whether it's a TV show or something that somebody said to you. We take all that in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week's topic. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share if you know of someone who may benefit. I know it's hard to kind of flip that switch for the negative self-talk, but we all need to do it and focus more on the positives. Anyway, until next week, have a great day, y'all. I love you. Be blessed.